Hello there, my name is Dave Gardner, and I'm going to be sharing an hour class with you. I call it a Mellow flow class. It's basically just like a very slow yoga flow, and the class offers an opportunity for you to really move in a way that feels good for your body, to listen to how your body's feeling, which will be different from day to day, and just give you some time to move parts of the body that maybe you don't normally get to move in ways that you don't normally get to move. And you could do this at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day. Either way, it's just going to allow you to zone in and set the tone for how you want to feel and how you want to think. So I hope you enjoy it. You don't need much. If you've got a mat, you can use a mat. You can be outdoors, indoors. You could play some music in the background if you want. But as you can see, I'm outside. There's some birds chirping, and I hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to hearing your feedback. If you have any questions, we can start a dialogue, and make the most of your practice. We'll start with a seated meditation. So however's comfortable for you, sitting, you could sit cross-legged, you could sit on your shins and knees if that's comfortable. If neither of that is comfortable and you need to sit on a chair, that's okay. You could, if you really needed to, lie down, but do your best to not fall asleep. So make sure that you get comfortable. Once you're comfortable, feel like you can shift your weight around so that you don't feel stuck in your seat. I don't want you to feel agitated through the meditation. Feel like you can move, don't feel rigid. Let the wrists rest on the knees so that your hands can be soft, your shoulders can relax. A very light lengthening up through the crown of your head, just meeting gravity. Let the chin be parallel to the floor so that your head doesn't droop forwards or drop down. Just a very light lengthening up through the crown of the head. Once you're in that position, allow the eyes to close. Take a long, slow, deep inhale, filling up, holding for a moment, and releasing with the exhale. Once more, breathing in, expanding, holding, an easy exhale. In the seat, I'm going to scan through the body, dissolving any unnecessary tension. Any spaces, joints, muscles that you feel might be holding on more than they need to, allow them to relax and release. As we move from bottom to top, through the toes, the feet, the ankles, the shins, calves, knees, through the big muscles of the upper legs, into the hip joints and pelvis. Feel as if the muscle is melting off the bone, gravity pulling the muscle down, while the structure of the spine lengthens up. As you relax through the pelvis, focus particularly on the abdomen and allow the belly to completely soften around the navel. Let the belly even push out slightly. Let the softness move up through the rib cage, the back of the shoulder blades, across the collarbones, down through the elbows, the wrists, hands and fingers. Feel the arms heavy. That light lengthening up through the neck, but softness through the jaw. Unclench the teeth. Let your tongue move away from the palate and the back of the teeth. Let that softness move through the cheeks, the eyes, the brow, the scalp. A long, slow inhale into all these points of contact, gently expanding them and softening with the exhale. From tracing that inline of the body to tracing the outline, bring your attention to where the surface of the skin meets the air around you. Noticing how the air is moving, or the stillness of the air, the temperature, parts of the body that are maybe in shade or in sunlight. In contrast to the parts of the skin that are in contact with the clothing. Noticing the difference in textures, in temperature, where the skin is in contact with the floor or the mat. Even where the skin is in contact with itself. And drawing your attention to where the hair meets the air around you, not just the hair on your head and face, but all the micro hairs around the body. Take a long, slow inhale into all these points of contact, gently expanding where these spaces meet, and softening with the exhale. Feeling the air around the ears. Allow yourself to listen to the diversity of sounds. Sounds that are most obvious, maybe my voice, the sound of the computer or your phone. And then start to listen to the sounds that are less obvious. As you listen, not only hearing the sounds, but noticing the vibrational quality, the tones, and the textures of the sounds. And drawing your listening inwards, without changing the breath, simply listening to the breath. Noticing the sound of it, the movement of it, and the feeling of it. Where is the breath moving? Is it in the chest? Is it in the belly? As you listen, feel the air around the nostrils. Intentionally start to change the breath by sipping the air slower, as if you're sipping long, slow, smooth, and steady through a straw. Directing the air through the nostrils, noticing the temperature, the texture, through the back of the throat, and as deep into the abdomen as you can. Allow your belly to slowly expand as the air comes in. Don't worry about breathing to your maximum capacity. Keep your chest relaxed. And as smooth as the air comes in, let it come out as smooth with the exhale. Create a rhythm with your breathing that you can maintain, and that creates a clear, smooth quality. Listen to the sound of the breath. Feel the movement of the breath. to notice how your attention and focus to the senses, your attention and focus to the breath, has shifted the way that you feel, the way that you think, the way the nervous system is conducting and giving you feedback. If perhaps it has created a sense of clarity and calm, notice that. If perhaps sitting still, observing the senses and your breath has created an awareness of how busy or distracted the mind is, and now focus that attention on the mind, on the thoughts that you are having, and simply allow yourself to witness them, to observe them impartially, without any judgment or evaluation. If perhaps it is a feeling in the body of discomfort or pain, again, simply notice it. Notice the feedback that you are getting from the body. And simply by observing it, by witnessing it, letting it be what it is, and letting it go. Notice how, when you simply observe and witness, without trying to quieten your mind, that the thoughts somewhat dissipate, but you don't need to pay attention to them, but you can just remain in attention, in awareness, embracing the simplicity of doing nothing, embracing the simplicity of being. To deepen, taking a longer, slower, deeper inhale, filling up and softening with the exhale. Start to notice the effect of gravity on the body. Start to allow gravity to move the body. Let it slowly pull the weight of the head, the chest, hands and arms towards an easy fold. Keep the body empty, heavy and soft. Take a longer, slower, deeper inhale and fold. And release with the exhale. Very slowly start to shift your weight back and up, to roll, to lie onto your back on your mat. Just allow the floor to hold the body. Try not to make any unnecessary movements. Taking a longer, slower, deeper inhale once you're lying down, filling up the belly, and releasing the exhale. From the space of stillness, of deep listening to the body, start to feel the impulse, the want and need to move and stretch. It's from that space of clarity of what you have become aware of in the meditation, how we get to now bring that into the movement, so it becomes a moving meditation. creating the quality that we want to feel in our bodies and in our minds. So start to feel that sensation of waking up the body. Let the movement start to begin from the center, from the origins of the joints, the spine. Slowly start to move out, reaching long, taking a full stretch from tips of toes to tips of fingers, and let it feel really good. It's important to start to ride this impulse of stretching and moving in a way that feels good, lengthening and allowing the natural releases when they happen. Stay with that feeling of opening up into the body, of stretching. And it is just like you're getting out of bed, like you're wriggling and wiggling. So allow things to naturally bend and straighten, to contract and expand. You can keep the eyes closed. It feels good to open the eyes, then open the eyes. And let it move through all the nooks and crannies, all the points of tension through the body, anywhere where there's discomfort or pain, or where there's coldness. Bring the warmth of movement into those spaces. From lengthening out, start to contract, bending the legs in towards the body. Just feeling that sensation of massage into the back, and the feeling of contraction, maybe taking hold of the legs, curling yourself up, squeezing, hugging, shifting, rocking and rolling. If you're very comfortable in this position, you can straighten through the legs, perhaps even take them over the head into what we call a plow shape. The feet don't have to touch the floor. If you're in the plow, just enjoy that sensation of having the legs up above the head, up above the body. From the plow, coming back down, keeping the legs bent in and easing them over side to side into a twisting action. It doesn't matter if the legs are bent or straight, if they're together or wide apart. Again, it's very important through these opening engagements to stay with your body, with what feels good for you. And in this, you start to feel, I'm a little bit tighter today, or I feel really strong today, or I feel like maybe I need a little bit more softness and more relaxing, or I really want to move a lot. And this is completely up to you. You don't have to move like me. You don't have to move like anyone else. You just listen to your body. Moving like this might be awkward for you in the beginning. And it's kind of like a first date. You know, you might fumble here and stumble there, but you just got to take it as it comes and make the most of it. The more you get into it, the better it will feel. From the twist, place your feet on the floor and start to bridge your hips up, just lifting them towards the sky or the ceiling. Shift your weight around. It's something I'm going to encourage throughout the practice, is shifting your weight. Lift higher and lower. Always allowing your breath to move freely, to breathe naturally as you move. Lower the hips down. Bring yourself in to a tight little ball, contracting. Maybe it feels good to use the arms to pull and push. And from small to big, take a big stretch, lengthening tips of toes to tips of fingers. Big inhale, reaching and releasing with your exhale. Slowly shift to lie onto your side and shift onto your front. I'm just going to turn around to face the other way. When you get onto your front, take a full stretch from tips of toes to tips of fingers. And reaching long, spread the toes, open up the palms, spread the fingers, and allow for the release. Once more, lifting high and wide, reach. slowly lowering down. So we keep this eternal stretch feeling happening. We're going to add on top of that sensation of internal massage. Place the hands under your shoulders and start to wriggle through the joints of your shoulders, getting into all the nooks and crannies around the neck, letting the shoulder blades move freely. And it is like it's kind of like a sensation of flossing, of really getting into the deeper corners where just the general brushing doesn't get to. It's going to be completely different for everyone who does this class, as it's different for me right now. I'm listening to where I want to apply pressure, where I want to shift, where I want to push and pull. Keep this internal stretch, internal massage going. Then lift the chest, lift the arms, reach them wide. Lift your legs. Lift up higher, waking up all the muscles in the back of the body. Place the tops of the feet down. Slowly make your way onto your forearms and elbows. Again, shifting your weight, just using this base of support to create a bit of movement, particularly through the shoulder blades, the upper back, and the neck. Really listening to where I feel tension here, I feel stretch here, I feel release. This feels new, this feels interesting, and just being curious, allowing yourself to investigate and move freely. There's no need to be shy. Slowly starting to lift up high through the crown of the head, creating active extension through the body. Pull your shoulder blades back. And from this active extension, we're going to draw the chin in, the ribs in, push the ground away, round your back as much as you can. And start to tuck your pubic bone to the navel so we wake up the abdominals. And breathe into this active space. Shift your weight side to side. Dissolve any unnecessary tension. Take a breath. And then slowly lower down. The hips, the abdomen, soft little shrug through the shoulders. To lift back up through the crown, nice and high, actively extending, as if you're pulling yourself, your hips in between your elbows, and then rolling it back to active flexion, chin drawing in, ribs drawing in. Press the floor away. This time see if you can lift the thighs so that you're pushing down through the knees a little bit, and then you might need to tuck the toes under or just push through the tops of your feet to lift into a full forearm plank. You might need to just adjust the position you're in. And again, like I said, it's very active, it's very engaged, but breathe into it and shift your weight. Relax and release the tension. Lower the knees down, shift your way back to a child's pose. You take the knees wider or the knees closer together. Rest the head on the hands, or maybe the head on the floor, hands by your side. Child's pose is different for everyone. Some people experience a lot of pain in the knees. You might need to take your time to just wriggle through pressure through the ankles, through the shins, through the knees. Relax your tongue and jaw. Take a longer, slower, deeper breath. Soften with that exhale. From the child's pose, reach your hands forwards and shift to a 4-point base so that your shoulders come above your wrists, your hips are above your knees. And you're just going to start to pour your weight around through the body, forwards, backwards, side to side, feeling how your wrists respond, how your knees respond, how your spine responds. Notice how, as more of the body comes away from the floor, we can really push into gravity, or we can soften into gravity and allow it to really move the body back towards the ground. It's this balance between active and softening that we can kind of keep moving and move in a way that is efficient and effective. From shifting through 4 points, we shift back to 2 points on the knees. Come up onto the knees, and once you're there, just feel you might want to change, taking the hips narrower or wider so that you're comfortable through your knees. You could be flat on the ankle or keep the toes tucked under. And you're just going to very lightly let your spine stack and start to shift your weight backwards and forwards. As you shift back, you'll notice the front of the body turning on, the hip flexors, the quads, the front of the abdominals. And you can start to feel how deep you want to take it, keeping the spine straight, or maybe allowing a little bit of an arch to start to form in the back. Very important for you to listen to your body. Adjust as you need. And you take it as deep as you want, or keep it as light as you need. As you move through it, maybe you start to feel you can use the arms to create a bit of leverage, giving you more opening to reach wide or reach high, or create a bit of a rotation, reaching one arm forwards, one arm backwards, maybe even just playing with different base points behind you, the heel, the ground. And it's super important just to stay with your body. Use what I'm saying and doing as a guide, but nothing is more important than your own guidance. For me, it's taken almost 10 years of moving to start to move in a way that feels good. So don't feel embarrassed, irritated, or frustrated if moving doesn't feel good. It can be painful, but hopefully we can find a way that can at least manage that pain. From 2 points, bring it back to 4. Placing the hands back down. Shift your weight backwards so that you can press your palms down and lift and spread your fingers as high and as wide as you can. Just shift your weight through the different parts of the hand, towards the wrist edge, the thumb edge, the pinky edge, really waking up the palm. And then start to lower your fingertips down so that they go white. Push them into the mat. Really wake up the hand as you shift your weight back forwards. Notice how you've got a little bit more connection to pushing through the fingertips, through the knuckles, through the wrist. Tuck the toes under and lift the knees just a little bit. And you're just going to wriggle and wiggle around here, shifting your weight forwards, backwards, side to side, in circles. Maybe the legs straighten a little bit, maybe you lift higher. Maybe the elbows bend and straighten. And you're just listening as you move. Eventually lengthening it out into a down dog shape. In the down dog, you might need to bend, straighten the knees. And take your time to feel out the Achilles tendon, the hips, the hamstrings. Again, listen to your body and move in a way that feels good for you. From the down dog, slowly start to walk your feet towards about the center of the mat. Release the hands and stand in an easy forward fold. Heavy head, heavy arms. Bend your knees as you need to, straighten them out as you want to. Again, we don't want to go to excessive stress or stretch, but just dancing, confronting those edges slightly. Always shifting your weight to distribute force through the body, not so that it stagnates and builds up too much in one place. Lift and spread your toes as high and as wide as you can, feeling the front pad of the foot, the ball of the foot, the arches, the heels. Shift your weight into all these different spaces.
And just like we did with the fingertips, push the toes down so that the toenails go white and the whole foot becomes alive. Keep the knees bent. And strong connection through the feet. Start to roll up vertebra by vertebra. Super slow. Try to keep the body very empty, very relaxed. And as you come up, let the spine stack. Let your hips push forwards. And just like we did in our knees, moving into a very light standing back bend, lengthening the front of the body. From here, we let the hips hinge back, the chest and head move forwards, bend your knees if you need to start a long, slow dive down back into the fold. And here we begin a loop of waves through the spine, rolling up through flexion, pushing the hips forward, opening into extension, and then the hips moving back, straight spine all the way down, long, slow, smooth, and steady. Easy breathing as you move. And as you move through it, maybe you start to feel you want to take it deeper. Or we'll keep it super light and simple. Start to use the arms maybe a little bit more as you roll up, counter reaching down. Starting to wake up the shoulder blades and the arms. As you rise up, sweeping the arms wide to give you more opening in the back bend. And keep that length as you slowly dive it down. And keep it going. Slow, smooth, and steady. Everything waving, the whole body integrated, not feeling it intense in one place, but the whole body moving together, integrated. If you're someone who tends to push yourself, just notice that. Maybe see if you can find a little bit of ease and softness in the way that you're moving. If you're someone who tends to be on the softer, slightly more passive side, start to feel how you can wake it up and maybe engage a little bit more, press a little bit more, reach a little bit more. Going through your last roll up. As you roll up, move into that standing back bend. Relax the arms for now. We're going to reverse the wave from the standing back bend, drawing the chin in, drawing the ribs in, and rolling yourself back down. From rolling down, we lift the head and chest and extend the spine. Bend your knees if you need to, if the pull on the hamstrings is intense. And we dive up, hips move forward into the extended position to roll back down. So it's just a reversal of the wave we were doing before. And take your time to find your rhythm with it. Easy breathing as you move. As you get a bit deeper into it, maybe you can include the arms reaching wide and high as you dive up, giving you more opening in the back. Then leveraging, reaching up high and like the crest of a wave, curling down as you curl the chin and the ribs in, rolling yourself down. It's kind of like you're doing a sit-up, but you're resisting gravity in the wave. Take yourself through one more. Eventually resting easy in the forward fold, heavy head. Soften your tongue and your jaw. When we move with a lot of awareness and focus, we can tend to create a lot of tension. So just be careful of that. Keep the jaw unclenched, the tongue soft, easy breath into the belly. from the down, forward fold position, slowly walk the hands forwards, walk the feet back into the down dog position. Now that the legs and spine are a little bit more awake and alive, focus a little bit more on what your shoulders and arms, neck, chest, shoulder blades, rib cage is doing in this position. So just take some time to wriggle and wiggle here through the arms, bend and straighten, move through the neck. Just feel it out. Bringing the feet together, shift your weight into the left leg so your right leg can lift up. And you don't have to lift it too high at first. Just feel first what your base foot is doing. Can the heel lift and lower? Can the knee bend and straighten? Can you shift from left to right in your hands? And once that base is strong, then start to feel what the lifted leg is doing. Move it freely through the air, bending and straightening through the knee. Through the ankle, through the toes. Shift your weight side to side. And then very slowly we're going to roll the foot forward. So you're going to bring the knee to the outside of the shoulder and the foot to the outside of the hand and lightly place the foot down. Lower the knee, easy in the lunge shape. If the knee feels a bit painful, keep the hands down. If it was difficult to get that foot forward, it's a really good exercise to build the mobility in the hip, spine, and the shoulders to get into your lunge. The slower, the better. Take your time here to feel out the lunge, shifting your weight around, backwards, forwards, bending and straightening. Again, never applying too much pressure, listening to your body, what you need. Tucking the toes under and coming back up into a higher lunge and just feeling out this higher lunge position, shifting your weight around, lifting and lowering the heel, lifting and lowering the front of the foot, bending and straightening both legs. Try to just keep the spine upright, the arms relaxed. Eventually releasing into an easy fold. Bend the knees as you need to, use the hands as you want to. And we shift to bring the hands to the inside of that right foot. You want to load up your arms and particularly push back through your left foot. So that right foot's going to lift and take it back with as much control as possible. Lengthen it out and slowly lower it down. Right foot next to left, loading it up so that the left leg can lift lightly, and just taking your time to feel out your ankle, your knee, your base points. And once that feels strong and connected, lengthening high and wide through that left leg, moving freely through the hip, knee and ankle, even the toes. And then we go for that roll forwards, bringing the knee to the outside of the shoulder. Hover the foot outside the hand. It's tough, it's not easy. Lightly place it down, lower the back knee, easing into the lunge. Taking your time to listen to your hips, your hamstrings, the pressure through the ankles and the knees. And then slowly start to come back up, tuck the toe under so you can lift the knee, coming into a higher lunge. Let the arms relax by your side, let the spine stack. And just take your time to feel out your balance here. Bend and straighten through both legs. Lift and lower the heels. Lift and lower the front of the foot. push back through that right foot so you can lift that left leg in place and take it all the way up high, lengthening and lowering down. Take a rest in the child's pose. Relax the tongue and jaw. Easy breathing. A longer, slower, deeper breath. Shifting back forwards to a 4-point base. Tuck the toes under to lift back into your down dog. And just as we rolled the spine, lying down on our knees, standing, we're going to roll from a down dog to an up dog. So from the down dog, press back through the sit bones, push through your shoulders, reach the crown of the head in between your hands. Lift the heels high, tuck the pelvis, and slowly start to roll forwards. So those straight lines become curves. As you move into a high plank position, spread your shoulder blades more. Push your heels back slightly. And slowly we're going to let the spine move into the extended position of the up dog shape. Move around, shift your weight side to side, forwards, backwards. Remember, a lot of heat here. Press through your fingertips, distribute the weight. And as slow as we rolled into it, we roll back. Chin draws in, ribs draw in, press the floor away, rounding through the spine to eventually lengthen back to the down dog. Move smooth and steady. One more time through it. Lift the heels high, tuck the pelvis, rolling as slow as you can. Tuck the pelvis more, ribs engaged. Press through the shoulder blades. And from that high plank position, you slowly lower the hips towards the floor. Little shrug through the shoulders to get a bit more length through the crown of the head. And slowly rolling back. Chin draws in, ribs draw in, rolling it back. Easy to the down dog. Slowly lowering the knees and resting in the child's pose. Again, check in with tongue and jaw, with the abdomen, shifting as you need, dissolving any unnecessary tension. Longer, slower breath. Reaching the hands back forward, shifting through the 4-point base to the down dog. The down dog, walk the hands forwards to about the middle of your mat to a standing forward fold. Relax the tongue and jaw, relax the head, bend and straighten the knees, shifting your weight. And shift your weight across to the left foot. Use your fingertips for a little bit of balance and let the right leg lift. Doesn't have to lift too high. First, again, like we did in the down dog, focus on what your feet are doing. In this case, your left foot. Be able to lift and spread your toes. Be able to lower and grip, push down through your toenails. Lift and lower the heel, bend and straighten the knee. Once you feel strong and stable through that base leg, start to explore through the lifted leg, moving through your hip, through your knee, through your ankle and toes. And move it freely through space, listening to the feedback that you get through the rest of the body, points of tension, points of pain, points that feel really good, where you get a lot of length, maybe a lot of release. Slowly bring it back down to the floor, shift your weight across, use the fingertips for a bit of balance to the right foot. First, feel the left leg lift, not too high. Shift your weight through that right foot. Lift and spread the toes, lift and lower the heel, push down through the toes, bend and straighten the knee. Once you're strong and stable through that right leg, start to explore the left, moving freely through the hip, through the knee, the ankle. eventually reaching as high, as wide, as far as you can through the whole of that left leg. Meanwhile, focusing on the balance of the right. Slowly bring that left foot back down. Relax through the fold. From the fold, using the hands, you could even grip if you have a mat, you can grip and pull if you need to, or use the hands behind you or by your side to slowly lower into a squat. Whatever squat is comfortable, your feet might be narrower, wider, the heels might lift, but just take your time to feel out the squat. Shift your weight, lift and lower the heels, bend and straighten the knees. You should be able to move through the squat. Keep it alive, keep it awake. Try not to collapse. If you need to, straighten out the legs, take a break, take a rest. And then use that to slowly come back into the squat. Adjusting as you need. Listen to your ankles, your knees, your hips, your spine. If the squat is very comfortable, see if you can rest the upper arms on the knees so that the neck and shoulders are relaxed. From the squats, you're going to take the hands back and slowly walk yourself to a 4-point base, but this time have the fingers pointing backwards. If you need to lower down and adjust, maybe you want to move the feet a bit further apart. Very important to listen to your body through the 4 points. Shift your weight first, feel what your wrists do, what your fingers do, and then slowly start to lift up into the tabletop shape. Always feeling like you can take your weight side to side, forwards, backwards, lift and lower the heels. Lower down when you need to take a break or readjust. I'd encourage keeping the fingers pointing back and working on lifting high through the chest and the hips. If you want to try something, is to go from 4 points, so 2 hands, 2 feet, to 3 points, 2 feet and 1 hand. And you might want to be longer and wider here. Listen to your shoulder. Again, feel like you can shift your weight in all directions. Hips high. Lift and lower the heels. And come down, take a rest if you need, or shift over to the right side. Take your time to play a bit here. I'm going to turn just to change my angle slightly. And from 4 points, if you want to shift to 3 points or even to 2 points. So just take a bit of time here to play and move around. And when I say 2 points, I mean 1 hand and 1 foot. So shift the weight and maybe that other leg can lift. It could be same hand or same side, or it could be contralateral, but just play here, have a little bit of fun with it. It's important to not take the entire practice too seriously. Shift it over to the other side. Again, come down when you want from me, take a rest. From 4 points to 3 points, 2 points. Just taking your time to play. See where you can balance, see where there's discomfort. And eventually come down, take a rest. Just let the knees move wide and allow for an easy fold. Just relax the head, neck and shoulders, tongue and jaw. No need to pull here, just resting and releasing. longer, slower, deeper breath. And slowly start to roll back to lie on your back. Taking a full stretch when you get there, from tips of toes to tips of fingers. Long inhale. Releasing with the exhale. Bending the legs into the body. If comfortable, taking the legs up and over. Plow. I'm just going to adjust myself quickly. If a plow is not comfortable, then you can just be in a bridge, being able to shift your weight side to side, shoulder to shoulder. If you're in the plow, being able to maybe lift the legs up into space. Just enjoy that sensation of weightlessness, having the legs somewhat above the upper body. Maybe you can lift and lower one foot. And allowing yourself to soften and slowly bring the spine back to the mat, the feet to the mat. The arms rest by your side, taking the knees over into an easy twist, so not needing to stretch or pull on anything. Allow the floor to hold the body. Making sure you can completely rest and relax into the twist. Easy breath here. Slowly bring it back through center to take it over to the other side. Making sure you can completely rest into the twist. Relax the body. Let the floor hold the body. Easy breath here. Bending back through center. Bringing the knees into the chest. Giving yourself a little hug, a little squeeze. You can take the hands behind the knee crease. Just let the knees move wide. The shoulders move away from the ears. A little release through the groin and the lower back. And for last time, from small to big, taking a full stretch. From tips of toes to tips of fingers. Long, full inhale, reaching through everything in the body. And with the exhale, releasing. Roll the tongue over the gums and teeth, and inside walls of the cheeks and lips. Let this movement relax the jaw, and let that softness move through the rest of the face, the cheeks, the eyes, the brow and scalp. Focus on your abdomen. Relax through the pelvic floor and direct a very long, slow inhale into the belly. Let your belly get bigger and bigger and bigger as the air moves in, not forcing with any pressure. Hold the air in, let your belly get bigger. Easy with the exhale. Once more, long, slow belly breath. Filling it up, letting it get bigger. Easy with the exhale. Focus on 5 more of these breaths, as long, smooth, and as slow as you can.
Your last one, be longer, slower, smoother, and deeper. And let the exhale release all action from the body. Enjoying a few moments of silence, embracing the benefits of your practice. Keeping the eyes closed, keeping the body very relaxed, the movement slow and small, just shifting to lie comfortably onto your side. Longer, slower, deeper breath when you get there. Starting to lightly gaze through your eyelashes, taking in the light. As the eyes open more, the colors, the shapes and textures. And letting your eyes see what you're looking at, noticing the details. Letting the eyes move to see as much as you can, far and wide. Everything up, everything down, everything close. Noticing any details that perhaps you haven't noticed before. Keeping the eyes open, your own way and own time, slowly shifting to come up to a comfortable seat. Might want to rub the hands over the face, lightly through the hair, over the neck. Take a long, slow, full breath. And thank yourself, thank you for practicing, for taking the time to create an environment of clarity and to be present with yourself, to listen, and hopefully you can take these qualities into your day, into your life. Thank you.